right, Alex, if you go ahead and slip to the second one. So we're going to talk about three things today. We're going to talk about really what our objectives are and why is Generation Esports, why did we decide to add additional professional development. Then we're going to talk about obviously our offerings. What are we offering for professional development? And then if you're interested in professional development, what are the next steps for that? So those are the three things that we're going to talk about today. And the first thing that we're going to talk about on the next slide is really the professional learning objectives. And I'm going to read these because this is the first time that we've offered, we offer professional development, and we're going to talk about this, that, free professional development that we just give with all of our products to make a good user environment. But then from that, we're getting a lot of one-off requests for professional development that really as a team, we didn't have time to do. We had all of these things over here. And then there's these kind of one-off things that we're getting asked and what's happening is that schools are in different places as far as their esports journey is happening. And so it was that everybody was at the same place and pretty much everybody was at the starting line. Well, now we have people that are further along, and then we have people that are mid-range, and then we also have people that are beginning. And so we will always offer our beginning professional development for free to everyone. And so when we came up with our objective, and really this is when we brought Heidi on, when we decided we needed someone who had extensive professional development experience, as Heidi does. And it's just to establish a comprehensive professional development program for educators that focuses on integrating esports into the school curriculum and ensuring the development of essential skills and promoting responsible gaming. And so that's our objective for offering this. And we're going to focus it really under three umbrellas. The first one is just understanding esports role in education. Why are we teaching video games? What skills are you learning from video games? Why are we teaching, I shouldn't say why are we teaching video games, why are we teaching with video games? What are we learning from that? And so that's the first piece of this. And that includes, how do you explain that to your stakeholders? How do you explain that to your administrators, your fellow teachers, your parents, and your taxpayers, your other stakeholders? The second piece of this is the actual pedagogy behind teaching with esports. How do you do it? What types of resources are out there to do it? What are the best ways to do it? And then finally, the third piece that we're reaching is the extracurricular activities like your clubs and your teams. And so we are helping schools do that also. We wanted to keep in mind there are really three parts to what we're doing. The first part is the introduction to esports and education, and that's what we want. We put press start. That's where everybody really should start, is these introductory sessions, and we're going to go into those a little later. And then we have what we call these a la carte pieces. And so those are your level up your esports games. And so you can add on, or you can have these a la carte. Maybe you just want one or two or three of these. And so we have everybody start with Introduction to Esports and Education, unless you're pretty far along your esports journey. And then these are the other 8 courses, and Heidi's going to talk about those. And then the third piece of this, and it's in a different color because it's consultation and mentoring for educators and IT departments. And that is really individualizing for scaffolding for where you're at with your school. And so we're going to offer those 3 pieces, the introduction, and then a whole a la carte menu. And then we can also individualize for your own school. So the first thing that we're going to get started talking about is the free professional development that we give to all of the people that use Generation Esports products. We want to be very clear that we're not getting away from this. And the reason that we want to be really clear about this is because this is one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is our fantastic customer service. Time and time again, we have a committed and a dedicated service department that's what they do. They're a success team where they guarantee, and their main job throughout every single day is to make sure that schools are successful, not only with the curriculum, but they're also successful with our platform. And so the tournaments, and they take calls, and there's a live chat support that we have, and there's a educator Discord that they're constantly monitoring. And so we get back to people. If you have emailed or you have used the live chat and we have not gotten back to you, it's because there's been some type of disconnect where we went offline or something crazy happened. Please check on us, because that is something that is the highest priority for us, is that we are available to the people that use our products. And so some of the other things that we always do for free, and we will continue to do for free, is we onboard all of our purchased curriculum. We onboard everyone that's using our LMS. We do curriculum webinars at least every other week. We do some type of curriculum webinar. We do competition webinars. Those are both on our website. We said, just like I said, we have the live support chat. We have an educator help site on our Generation Esports, HSEL and MSEL sites. We have an educator Discord, lots of educator tutorials and guides, all of the rules books. Everything was updated this summer, so they're constantly updating them and making sure that we are up to date with all of the rules for the games, as well as our curriculum gets updated every semester. And so that's one of the nice things about the way that we do things, is our books get updated every semester, and our LMS gets updated every semester. And then we also have a free coaching certificate. All of that will continue to be free. You have unlimited access to that. It can be done, and sometimes it is done in person, hybrid, virtual. When you're like, how do I get to the in-person things? That's on our Gaming Concepts website. We have a whole group of teachers who are account executives that go to conferences, and they give professional development also on what is esports. And so we give a lot of free stuff, and we want to make sure that we assure everyone that will not change. What you're getting now will not change. And Heidi's going to talk about the new stuff that's coming up.
Thank you, Christy. All right, so the first course that we offer, as far as the methodology through which we think it's best for schools to go through these courses, is the Introduction to Esports in Education. This is a 3-hour-long course, and the reason it's long is because we go over pretty much everything to get everyone on the same page to get you started in this endeavor of scholastic esports. So this is the fundamental course that will help you understand the what, the why, and the how of scholastic esports. Your building will understand the definition of esports and why it's valuable in education. This is the one that will really help bring staff on board who might be thinking, so are we just letting kids play video games all day in school? This answers those questions, and to show those staff the benefits of esports on school culture, on classroom community, to show the college and career connections, and the undeniable personal and academic benefits that esports education can give students. And then we give you an overview of how to make it happen in your school. So this kickoff course helps everyone get on the same page, and after your building or your teachers or your district or your school has gone through this course, they will understand the value and the logic behind esports and how there's more to it, so much more to it than just playing video games. All right, Alex, go ahead and go to the next one. So after this overarching course that talks more generally about esports, then we start to really narrow down on what are you specifically teaching in your school. Okay, so in this overview, you select one of the courses that your school is teaching, and then we go over this curriculum with the teachers. We go in depth to it. We help them understand how the course works, how to navigate that course online and in print through the book. We help them figure out the logistics of implementation into their classroom. We help instructors prepare their first lessons so that they can go into the beginning of the school year or semester feeling confident about what they're going to teach, how they're going to teach it, and having some experience with that curriculum. All right, and the next one is for beginning an esports club. And this offering helps you figure out the logistics of creating an esports club in your school and how an esports club is different from a team. You might have a club, you might have a team, you might have both, you might have neither. It might just be, the scholastic academic piece. But if your school is wanting to implement a club, we help you see how an esports club benefits your students academically and personally, and how it affects your school culture. We also help you explore opportunities for funding and equipment. We don't just leave you high and dry on that. We have a lot of experience in helping schools get what they need to get in order to make happen what they want to happen. All right, the next one is IT specific training. This is the nitty gritty technology logistics of setting up a gaming lab. Because I know there's a lot of teachers who might feel really comfortable with content, but not as comfortable with the IT side. These are things like the hardware, how to deal with DMZs, virtual local area networks, subnets, all these questions that your IT department would have when you tell them we'd like to develop a gaming lab. And this helps to get into all those logistics that will answer the questions so that your IT department knows that there's a plan and there's a way to do it. And we talk about troubleshooting and give you tips on things that could come up and how to prevent issues. And we get you prepared on the technology side to have a smooth running gaming lab. All right, directing competitive esports teams. This one is really neat because it shows innovative strategies to help you engage your students that maybe they're at-risk students, maybe they have not had a lot of success finding inclusion in other areas of the school before. And this helps you to find how to bring those students in, give them a foundation to foster accountability and attendance. You learn how to develop this code of conduct for these courses that helps your students see the why in school. Because when they have a why, when they have something to come for, it can absolutely change a student's willingness, not only just to show up at school, but also to participate. It also helps you see how you can use esports as a conduit for teaching life skills. Again, it's not about playing video games. It's about learning life skills and using esports as a way to get kids excited about technical skills, college skills, career skills, and life skills. Coaching esports players, this is going to be more of the technical aspects of how to be a coach for an esports team, how to identify your students' roles and their abilities, how to coordinate practice. When do you do that? What does that look like for you in your school? How to register players for tournaments helps you understand the Generation Esports system for how we host tournaments and host matches. It helps you understand the difference between in-person and live events. And again, it's more of those technical skills of coaching and how this whole system works in a competitive esports environment. Equipment training, this is going to be training on the specific equipment that you would be using in the classroom. So the technology specific training was more for how to set up the gaming lab. This one is going to be more, are your students going to be using Nintendo Switches? Are they going to be using PCs? What is the equipment that your students are going to be using? We're going to help you with basic troubleshooting tips. We're going to help you learn what to do to avoid technology issues. And again, see how this is going to work in your classroom. If you're familiar with our curriculum, there's a component in some of the curriculum called a purposeful play. And we will help address that here and how that looks in your classroom, depending on what you have available and what you have to work with. Mentoring is when we come alongside you and we help specific teachers or specific staff with questions that they have. This is going to be more in depth of specific implementation. So a teacher who's trying to start an esports club or a team just needs some more involved help, some more involved question and answering, some one-on-one consultation. We help you brainstorm and problem solve. So we don't just say, here's the class that we offer, take it, hope it works. We will come alongside you and answer your specific questions, because we all know that there's questions that your district will have that other districts won't have. You have situations that are specific for you in your classroom that wouldn't be covered anywhere else. And so that's what this is for. And then probably my favorite one is when we talk about maximizing impact through alternative methods. You may or may not know, but Dr. Christy Custer and Dr. Michael Russell, who are two of the authors, and myself all have backgrounds in alternative education and using alternative methods to engage students who just don't like school. And if you want to talk about something that could help students who have detached from school become excited to come to school and to connect with their peers and their teachers, esports is a fantastic platform for that. And so this helps you think outside the box, helps you think of different ways to foster accountability with students instead of just having rules, having a team environment that gets students excited about it. We talk about what are the logistics of protocol and even consequences for students when it comes to issues that you may face. We talk about pedagogical foundations of integrating the esports into the classroom, and just how to bring in those underserved learners through these outside of the box innovative methods. And the fun thing about this is you get to bring this into your personal classroom environment and how it works for you. It's not a one size fits all, but it helps you see how you can be innovative in your own classroom. Finally, consultation and mentoring. Just know that we will, kind of like the mentoring course, specific course, just know that we have a lot of opportunities available for any help that you need, whether it's for educators or instructors working with the curriculum, maybe it's for IT departments, but we will come alongside you and help you with setting up that gaming lab and all the hardware. We will help you with these questions that you might have. So know that we will do that not only for your teachers, but we'll do that for whatever staff member needs help in this process of implementation of Scholastic Esports. And I'll turn it back over to Christy now.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. So a couple of things before I get into recommended packages. Really, well, I'll go ahead and do recommended packages, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the background behind this also. So these are really what the packages look like. I know everybody is like, well, what is the pricing on this? It just depends on what you have purchased and what you have. And so I'll tell you how to get in touch with the people that you need to get in touch with. But of course, we have the free onboarding, or I'm sorry, the free package that I talked about earlier. And then kind of going backwards, starting with the bronze is where you get that introductory training. And that's the one where we talked about everybody starts at the same place. And then you add 3 hours a la carte, and then 1 additional customized day. So there's like 6 hours there, 25 teachers manuals, and that alone is a $3,125 value, and 25 student companions, which is a $625 value, and then 2 virtual personalized Q&A sessions where whoever you need, is it the technology people that you need online, Is it the curriculum people that you need online? Because most of the times, those are two different people. If you need technology people, you're not getting Heidi and myself. You're going to get someone else in the company. And then you go over to the gold, you add a virtual classroom visit or model teaching to that. And so you'll get one of us that we can either come in and talk with teachers, or we can actually come in and teach a lesson. And then we have additional, we have resources for colleges that are actually doing recruiting, and colleges coaches, as well as more and more colleges are offering degrees in esports. And so we will set that up with you and for you. And then finally, in our platinum session, our platinum package, we add um, the personal text message for our sales executive, and then some of the exclusive webinars that we have been doing. And those are just all over the place, whatever our customers are needing, whatever the people that are using Generation Esports products, whatever they're needing. And so a couple of things about this, and Alex, I think I'll have you go to the next slide so that people, because I know they'll want to click on the QR code, and that's just fine. So where did all of this come from? So a lot of it came from asks, teacher asks, where we would get questions, and it just has we've gotten big enough where it's gotten overwhelming for us to, either Mike or myself or Heidi, just the curriculum people, to answer all of the curriculum questions, because they're just getting more and more in depth. And really where this came from is Heidi mentioned that we are alternative school. We have alternative school background, and you cannot go to school to become an alternative school teacher, or at least where, as far as we know, there are no degrees where you become an at-risk teacher, an alternative school teacher. You can become a math teacher, you can become a science teacher, but you can't become an alternative school teacher. And there are a lot of alternative schools. And so we have done, through our backgrounds, we have done a lot of professional development for at-risk teachers, where what would really happen, because we couldn't leave our school, is people would come on site. And so our school became a kind of a laboratory where alternative schools, they would take a lot of what we did and they would take them back to their schools. And esports was just one of the things that we did at the alternative school that grew into what we do now. And so that's really where this came from, was we could see the need, we could see this heading to where we were at when we were at our alternative school, where people were coming into our laboratory, but we don't have a laboratory for people to come to. And so we have made it where we can either virtually or on site, either come to you or do things virtually like this, where we can answer more specific needs. Because what we found in the alternative school realm is people would often want us to come out and do conferences, which we're fine doing conferences. But what happens at a conference is, the way that schools are set up with at-risk kids is that everyone does it differently. And that's what we're seeing with esports, is everyone does it differently. Some people do it as a class. Some people use our curriculum as a resource. Some people have clubs, after school clubs. Some people have competitive teams. And so we really need to focus on the school and individualize it to the school. So I wanted to give some background there on where did this come from? Why are we doing this? And that's really where it came from.
Yeah, and I just want to say, as somebody who's done professional development on the district level for a number of years, when you go to make this kind of investment for your building, for your district, for putting in an esports lab or starting a program like this, what you don't want to do is come back to your board in 2 or 3 years because none of the teachers are utilizing the equipment the way it should be, and tell them that they need to repurpose this equipment or that the program has failed. And so, similar to other models where districts will purchase professional development from the company that they're working with to implement some sort of large purchase of whether it's curriculum or hardware or whatever, the training is very critical to making sure that the teachers know how to use that stuff properly. Because as a person who came from a MAC district, 10% maybe of the teachers in the district utilized that machine properly. Like it was just everybody just went to Google, and then I would show in a PD session, oh, let's learn how to use GarageBand or iMovie or something like that, and they'd be like, this machine can do this, and I'm like, yes, yes, it can. And so, you know, the PD behind a lot of this is just so that your teachers and yourselves can really fully get everything out of your purchase from us, and make it worthwhile to both you and your students.
And the other thing that it creates is sustainability. And if you've heard me talk at all, everyone's heard me talk about USD 259 Wichita. And I will say it until someone challenges me on it. And I'll probably challenge back and give you more reasons why I think it is the best rollout of any district, large district. There are about 40,000 that I've ever seen. And it's in all 9 of their high schools and all 18 of their middle schools. And one of the reasons why Wichita had such a great rollout is they took all of their teachers and we did a course, Mike and I at the time, we did a course through Wichita State University so the teachers were able to get college credit. They paid for the teachers to get college credit to do this. And we did a whole professional development course for those teachers. And that's what this is based on. And so the sustainability of it, you know, Wichita went from 250 kids that first year to 1,200 kids, well, 250 kids in their pilot year, like we call it the pilot year, to 500 kids in their pilot year, to 1,200 kids the first year, to over 2,000 kids this year. And so they just did this amazing rollout and they made a huge investment. I mean, they made a huge financial investment in this. And it was during COVID also. They decided to do it and keep doing it through COVID. And so it's just the sustainability and everyone's on the same page. They all know why they're doing it. Plus they know what the plan is. It's not just, oh, the shiny new toy that they're going to throw up. And I could see easily, and I've seen it in districts where people kind of roll their eyes and go, well, this is the new, you know, shiny penny that we're going to play with today. It really does impact kids. And, you know, I don't know when, you know, maybe it's AI will be the next thing, but this definitely leads into things like virtual reality and AI and, you know, all the things that I think that we can kind of see coming. This is an iteration of that. So we don't need to, we have to bring the teachers along. And a lot of teachers look like me and I don't play video games and I don't really like video games. And so I think that that's another key here is that it brings people like me at the beginning where I was like, I'm not buying it. I don't understand it. And this is just, my kids are already playing enough video games at home. Well, once I started understanding what was happening and delved into it, then I could immediately see the payoff here.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions they want to? I can open everybody up to talk if you like, so that we can kind of have a discussion. If everyone has questions, or if anyone has questions, be a great time to ask anything specific that you'd like to with the people that know the system best for what you're going to get and what you can expect from the professional development. Otherwise, Christy, Heidi, I knew this would be a shorter one just because we're kicking this off. But you know, if you guys have questions, please stay around. If not, you know, I really appreciate everybody being on here today to help us launch this PD system that we've got to get schools on board with building esports, and to normalize it in schools and get everybody rowing in the same direction for why esports is important. So yeah, please stay. If not, thank you so much for attending, and we will see you at the next one.